Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoot, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation Season 7, Week number 7, and we're taking on Andy, coach of the St. Louis Carbinks, my boy, the Nina Mori fanboy himself, aka LG YouTube. If you follow my IDM Season 2, then you will know that I have named my Garchomp LG YouTube the entire season, my Mega Garchomp that is, after my good buddy Andy, a long-time rival. We met many years ago on Nintendo's Miiverse. We talked, we battled, we become friends, we trade, we we did all kinds of stuff. We used to actually breed our own Pokemon in game all the time, stuff like that. I know that Showdown's the more prevalent platform now over 3DS and stuff like that, to me anyway. But I've always had a good time playing Andy. He's a great guy, great sport as well. And he's a smart guy, and he's older like I am, a lot older than some of the other players in the league. And we've played in Season 1, Season 2. I don't know if we played in Season 3. Played in Season 4 and 5 and 6. So here we are again in Season 7, where we're going to be facing off once more. And so Andy and I have always had rather intense battles. PBF Season 1 semifinals, intense all the way to the end. PBF Season 2 semifinals, all the way to the end. Might have been quarterfinals, but I'm pretty sure it was semifinals. Intense all the way to the end. And then our Season 4 match was intense. Our Season 5 match was intense. Our Season 6 match, both of them were intense. Came down to the wire. We played in the semifinals last season as well. And here we are once again. And Andy's decided to make a statement. He drafted Gliscor round 1. I'm talking like top 5, top 6 picks or something like that. And he grabbed Gliscor round 1. Pretty sure that's around where he was in the draft. Yeah, 5th overall. He took Gliscor 5th overall, and I got hyped. I got hyped, to say the least. And then watching the team that he built around it, the fact that he was able to grab Manaphy and Raikou, Kyurem, Mega Aerodactyl, Hitmonlee, Scolipede, Granbull, Celebi, Chandelure, and Abomasnow after picking Gliscor round 1 was phenomenal, just phenomenal. And he actually went his first 5 games without losing. Fucking hair in my mouth. That's not a woman, not a man. It's just like fuzz hair off this maybe. So yeah, Andy's team is phenomenal in my opinion. I thought it was really great that he was able to draft what he drafted after drafting Gliscor round 1. I thought that was phenomenal. And he won his first 5 battles. He lost last week to, I think, Corey and his San Diego Snorlax. But outside of that, the man's been on a roll. Gliscor performing well, Mega Aerodactyl performing well, outshining things like Manaphy and Kyurem to a very high degree, in my opinion. Seeing, Mega Aerodactyl's got over 10 kills already and whatnot. So just seeing that this thing's a huge threat, and it has the Stone Edge syndrome. It does. Like, that's inevitable. It's there. It happens. You click Stone Edge, you're gonna miss a few. Just like I have Mega Medicham, I have the high jump kick syndrome. He has the Stone Edge syndrome. We're both in a little bit of a predicament there. But yeah, so I just listed this team. I'll list it one more time. Gliscor, Manaphy, Raikou, Kyurem, regular Kyurem, Mega Aerodactyl, Hitmonlee, Scolipede, Granbull, Celebi, Chandelure, and the Abomasnow. And our team is, as always, oh wait, I think it might be noteworthy to say what his Z-move users are, which are Manaphy and Granbull respectively. My man here has my man's drafted Granbull in every season of the PBF except 1, I believe. So in 7 seasons he's drafted Granbull 6 times. It's named franchised. It's been franchised. It belongs to the St. Louis Carbinks. Like, when the draft begins and you want Granbull, you better message Andy first and ask him if you can have Granbull, or there may be problems later on. Anyways, our team is Weavile, Tapu Fini, Zapdos, Nidoqueen, Heatran, Serena, Haxorus, Mega Medicham, Licky Licky, and the Palisand. So, pretty fun squad we've been using this entire season. We did lose our first 2 games, but we're on a 4-game win streak since then. So we're riding a 4-game win streak where Andy has been riding a 5-game win streak, but he's now on a 1-game lose streak. It's not a streak until, you know, there's 2, at least 2. So he's coming off of a loss after 5 straight victories. So I don't think he's going to be discouraged too much. I think he'll be very, very okay the rest of the season and things like that. So we've decided to bring Weavile, Tapu Fini, Zapdos, Nidoqueen, Licky Licky, and the Mega Medicham to this match, where basically we've got a defensive. The 4 Middlemons are just pure defensive backbone support for the rest of the team. Stealth Rock, Wish support, stuff like that. Where Mega Medicham is actually a breaker, so 4 attacks, straight up 4 attacks, high jump kick, Zen Headbutt, Thunder Punch, and Ice Punch, I think. So like Zen Headbutt into Thunder Punch knocks out the Manaphy. I never have to risk high jump kick twice because high jump kick into anything else knocks out everything outside of Chandelier and maybe like a defensive Gramble. Can maybe come in on a Stealth Rocks, take a high jump kick, and then survive a Zen Headbutt. I don't think it takes 2 Zen Headbutts, but I'm not sure. I didn't run the calcs. I don't necessarily see him actually bringing Gramble. I do have things like Nidoqueen, things like Heatran. However, it is a nice check to things like Weavile and Haxorus, and to an extent Mega Medicham, as long as I don't have the poison jab. So there's that. The idea behind this team is to use my, like, just whittle his team down. I think I'm bringing Toxic Spam this week with Mega Medicham just coming in and clicking moves. And then the idea is to get Manaphy in a position, I mean not Manaphy, what the? To get Weavile in a position to where I can click Swords Dance and then sweep his entire team with the combination of Knockoff, Icicle Crash, and Ice Shard. Ice Shard only being there for the Mega Aerodactyl and a potential speed boosting Scolipede. So there's that. We'll go ahead and hop into the builder here and see what exactly we've just decided to bring. So we got the Weavile here with the Icicle Plate. Don't really need Knockoff to be that boosted. I was torn between not choice, but Life Orb or the Dread Plate or the Icicle Plate. Icicle Plate makes the most sense. I'm going to be clicking Icicle Crash and Ice Shard most of the time. It does better against Gliscor, Mega Aerodactyl, Hitmonlee, Granbull. I am expecting my opponent to bring a Cobra Berry Celebi so that he can't be pursuit trapped and he can always come in on things like Tapu Fini or potentially even Zapdos to an extent, you know, if I don't run Signal Beam or something like that, which I'm not. So this thing is here for the offensive pressure. It outpaces my opponent's entire team outside of Mega Aerodactyl, which isn't the biggest issue for my team specifically, because I have things like Nidoqueen and Licky Licky, Palossand that don't really mind Mega Aerodactyl. Come in on Stone Edge, Wing Attack. The only problem I see with Mega Aerodactyl is if it's a Stone, not a Stone Edge. Obviously, yes, Stone Edge, but if it's a Home Claws variant, it could be a huge issue for my team. As you see, I don't have like a Revenge Killer. I don't bring a Scarf User. I do have some sets in the back that could potentially check Mega Aerodactyl if it was to get out of hand or something like that. But otherwise, it's not that big of a problem to the team that I'm actually going to be bringing. So, like, I have the Knockoff, the Icicle Crash, the Ice Shard, and the Swords Dance. After a Swords Dance, Ice Shard is knocking out things like Mega Aerodactyl and Scolipede that could potentially be faster than me, you know, naturally or after a speed boost. So, and then Icicle Crash and Knockoff after Swords Dance, it's doing enough to everything else. I didn't really feel like, even if I am Life Orb or Dread Plate, Knockoff is doing nothing to Manaphy, and if it's a Z-move user, then I could potentially be set up fodder. So I don't really need coverage for Manaphy anyway, and I feel like the rest of my team deals with it pretty well. Speaking of Manaphy, I do bring a Tapu Fini set here with Haze to always be able to check a Manaphy. So if Manaphy goes for a Tail Glow, I switch into Tapu Fini and I click Haze, it loses its special attack boost. +3 energy ball from a timid or modest Manaphy does not knock me out with my special defense investment. I am incredibly bulky. Tapu Fini has incredible high bulk on the special defense side anyway. So I'm living any move, click Haze, Manaphy's neutralized, and then I can click Moonblast and weaken it. Surf hits Gliscor, Moonblast hits Raikou, both hit Raikou. Surf hits Gliscor, Moonblast hits Manaphy, both hit Raikou. Kyurem's dropped by the Moonblast, Mega Aerodactyl dropped by Surf, Moonblast hits Hitmonlee, Surf hits Scolipede, both hit Granbull, Celebi's hit by the Moonblast, Chandelure is hit by Surf, and Abomasnow is hit by Moonblast. So I didn't need any other coverage outside of these two moves. And then I got the Haze there, like I mentioned. It also helps versus SD Gliscor, Calm Mind Manaphy, Calm Mind Raikou. I can live one hit from that as well and haze it and stop it from being a potential threat. Mega Aerodactyl, I'm going to be able to live one hit from that as well. After Stealth Rocks, I can take a +1 Stone Edge, I do believe, with 60 defense investment, and be able to haze that and get rid of its Home Claws boost. So if he's like a setup Hitmonlee as well, I can get rid of its boost. And I think Celebi gets some weird text, but I'm not really going to be able to check that with Tapu Fini. But Chandelure, if it's Calm Mind variant, I can haze it as well. And the tech here, I got the Magic Coat tech because I can see things like Gliscor or Mega Aerodactyl, Scolipede even, and Celebi, last but not least, trying to set up Stealth Rocks. Especially Celebi. Celebi makes for a good rocker versus my team because they can come in on things like Zapdos and Tapu Fini. Bar Signal Beam Zapdos and Tapu Fini, and it can set up rocks. So I got the Magic Coat there to bounce rocks back on my opponent's side of the field and maybe prevent him from trying to set them up again. Or if he does set up the Stealth Rocks after my first Magic Coat, then I can always, I can make the call right then and there. Do I double into, or do I switch out and hard into Weavile to gain the offensive pressure? Do I switch out into Zapdos to maybe make my opponent think I'm a defog variant or something like that? Whatever the case may be, I think these 4 moves were my best, well, maybe not my best bring, but definitely a fun bring in this matchup. And we're going to go ahead and move on to Zapdos, which is our defog user here. So if my opponent is able to get rocks up, I am able to defog them away. I do have Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Ice, which hits his entire team, at least neutrally. And Roost there is obviously just for longevity. I do have max speed, max HP. This actually allows me to speed tie with things like Manaphy. Only Manaphy and Celebi, I guess. Outspeeds Chandelure, outspeeds, max speed Hitmonlee that's not Choice Scarf, or Kyurem that's not Choice Scarf. Any of those Pokemon outspeed Gliscor as well. The fastest Gliscors can't, keep up with this Zapdos. And max HP allows me to live some crucial hits from things like a +3 Manaphy Scald, or like a Calm Mind Raikou, Thunderbolt, Mega Aerodactyl's Stone Edge. I actually survived that because of my Chardy Berry, and I can knock it out with the Thunderbolt after Stealth Rocks, basically 100% of the time. So as long as my Chardy Berry's intact, Mega Aerodactyl's not too huge of a threat to me. I have Tapu Fini to threaten it with Surf. I have Zapdos to threaten it with Thunderbolt. If I do bring in my Zapdos, my opponent may think I'm Choice Scarfed and he might switch out. And if I just click Thunderbolt and he switches out to something like Gliscor, predicting me to be a Choice Scarf variant, I can just bop it with the Hidden Power Ice the following turn. However, if he switches out into something like Raikou, I might just hard switch out and bluff the Scarf for later on in the match, and hopefully maybe my opponent will be wary of that. So that's nice. And then, like I mentioned, the Chardy Berry's only there for the Mega Aerodactyl. Pressure, I don't really need static. I felt like my opponent's not really going to be hitting me, but I guess it could work for Hitmonlee, but he could be a Limber Berry, a Limber variant anyway, so he's not going to be paralyzed anyway. So I felt like pressure was the best ability this week. It could potentially stall things out like Gliscor, or maybe a Hitmonlee or a Scolipede or something. Potentially make it just use up its hardest hitting moves as I just continuously roost, and then eventually can switch out, or maybe Zapdos does go down, and then my opponent doesn't have any other moves to break my team anymore. So that's the idea behind that. So yeah, hopefully, it would be very unfortunate to have ran max speed only to lose a speed tie and get dropped by something I could have lived from something like Manaphy or Celebi. Say it's a nasty plot Celebi and I've ran enough speed to speed tie with it and I lose the speed tie and I'm actually dropped because I have no special defense investment. That would be unfortunate, but I think it's worth the risk, especially in our first matchup. We could potentially play again in, divisional or conference finals or something like that, or even the finals maybe. I'm not really sure on our like the divisions and stuff. Like, I know there's obviously two different conferences, but off the top of my head I don't know which one we're both a part of. That's something that maybe I can do an update video for the PBF later this week, like I did for the IDM earlier this week. Anyways, I guess we can move on to Nidoqueen, which is our designated stealth rocker here with the Black Sludge item, so that I'm getting as much health back as possible. Longevity is very important in this match. And I have max special defense, max HP, so that I can take on Raikou. If you look at my team so far, I could potentially be like a sub-Calm Mind Raikou's food, absolute food. I would have to use Weavile to break the sub, potentially lose it to a +1 Thunderbolt, and then the rest of my team could be food as well. Tapu Fini, Zapdos, etc. Just food. So I'm bringing this thing, can hard switch in, can take a +1 hidden power ice pretty easily, and I thought about running Earthquake over Earth Power in case Calm Mind Raikou was an issue, but I felt if he was Calm Mind, then he would obviously just be able to use. Okay, so say he's sub Calm Mind Raikou with Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Ice. He doesn't really have a way to wear down my Licky, and as long as he's not like defensively invested, then my Licky can Dragon Tail it out. As you'll see later, I have the Dragon Tail. I also have Roar on this Pokemon, so I thought about bringing Roar on Zapdos as well, but I felt like it was okay with just these two Pokemon having, one having Roar and one having Dragon Tail in my last two defensive Pokemon. So Stealth Rock, designated Stealth Rock setter, basically going to get him up. I don't really expect to lead with this thing because my opponent has Gliscor, could be a lead, Manaphy could be a lead. There's one other lead, Gliscor, Manaphy, Kyurem, regular Kyurem could be a scary lead for me, and I think that's about it. I guess an offensive Celebi lead could be problematic with like Psychic, but it's not too big of an issue, not an issue to where I felt I needed to run, a different set or anything like that. And I was able to run Earth Power and Sheer Force. Earthquake doesn't get a Sheer Force boost, but it still does just a little bit better against Raikou, so maybe that's a mistake on my part. I could have maybe ran Earthquake over this, but I felt with Roar, I really didn't need to have to break a sub. I could just roar the sub out, roar the Pokemon out entirely, and it be a non-issue. So we do have Sludge Wave and Earth Power as our coverage. We're kind of beat down, like can't hurt Gliscor whatsoever. We do quite a bit of damage to things like Manaphy, Raikou, not Kyurem. Mega Aerodactyl is also kind of resistant to us, but we're not really here to break a Mega Aerodactyl or to check a Mega Aerodactyl. That's not Nidoqueen's role, so it doesn't really necessarily have to have moves for all these, his entire team. So I felt comfortable with Dual Stab, Stealth Rocks, and Roar, and like I mentioned, max special defense, max HP makes me puts me in a position to be able to check Raikou more comfortably. So that's the idea behind Nidoqueen, as well as just being one of the best Stealth Rockers on my team. So it's going to be the designated one for this week. So here we have max HP, max defense, Licky, and you're looking at my last two Pokemon, Nidoqueen and Licky, like, hey Scoot, I thought you didn't run max. I thought you was more creative with your EV spreads. I thought you was more specific. I thought you ran specific calcs, etc., etc. I do. Simple as that. Niddle Queen and Licky Licky are mandatory to have max this week. Niddle Queen for, like I mentioned, Raikou. It can also take Scalds from Manaphy, and can, as long as it's not a boosting item, it can take one Ice Beam from Kyurem as well. So that just goes to show you how bulky Niddle Queen can be. Flip side, this defensive fat Pokemon right here, it has max defense, max HP, because it better allows me to take hits from Scolipede. Swords and Scolipede could be problematic, but my opponent does have to run certain coverage, so I felt I could just Dragon Tail him out. Don't really need to have an attack to specifically hit Scolipede with. I felt Dragon Tail was best. My opponent has one immunity, and I think that's it. I don't think he has a resistance. He has one immunity, being Granbull. No resistances to Dragon type moves, so I felt Dragon Tail was pretty fine to bring with Toxic, so that things like Manaphy or Raikou or Kyurem that want to switch in and maybe set up a sub, or just pressure me out, I can always catch them with the Toxic on the switch and Dragon Tail them out. I also take Stone Edges from Mega Aerodactyl like it was breakfast, really. Wish Protect basically gives Niddle Queen, Zapdos, Tapu Fini a backbone for longevity, as well as being able to provide for itself. With the Oblivious ability, I avoid taunts from Gliscor, Mega Aerodactyl. I don't know if things like Scolipede and Chandelure actually get taunt, but I can avoid being taunted by anything. I'm always being able to throw out my Wishes, my Protects, my Toxic, and Dragon Tail and things around. And with Stealth Rocks up, I break her like Mega Medicham, and then Dragon Tail and all those phases around with Toxic, you know, being out there as well. My opponent's got a lot to look out for, not look forward to, but look out for. So I think that's important. I'd ran minus speed this week when I shouldn't have. I've been so used to just throwing it on there because I've been running like Ice Beam Earthquake coverage or knockoff Ice Beam or whatever it may be. I've been running some mixed coverage sets, so I've been running minus speed natures so that, you know, my attacks are hitting as hard as possible, my defenses are as stout as possible, and I don't really need speed. But this week I could have avoided that and put a minus special attack nature, and that way things like Abomasnow, Chandelure, Celebi, anything with no speed investment. Like my opponent's got some pretty solid speed tiers. Gliscor, Manaphy, Raikou, Kyurem, Mega Aerodactyl, Hitmonlee, Scolipede. Granbull is his slowest Pokemon, I think. Abomasnow and Granbull are his slowest Pokemon. The rest of them are like base 80 or above. So my opponent's got some solid speed tiers, super solid speed tiers. Even his defensive Pokemon are, you know, pretty speedy in terms, in comparison to our team anyway. But yeah, it's going to be it for Licky Licky. Pretty solid check to a lot of his physical attackers. But speaking of physical attackers, we've got the epitome of physical attackers with the Pure Power Mega Medicham, High Jump Kick, Zen Headbutt, Thunder Punch, and the Ice Punch, rocking the Jolly max speed to speed tie with things like Celebi, Manaphy, outspeeds things like Gliscor, Chandelure, Kyurem, and just bops, just absolutely bops. Max attack for the most damage output possible. High Jump Kick into Thunder Punch knocks out Manaphy if High Jump Kick just doesn't straight up OHKO it. High Jump Kick is basically going to OHKO Raikou as well. Zen Headbutt's a 2-hit KO. Everything's getting OHKO'd or 2-hit KO'd. As simple as that. Maybe Granbull survives a Zen Head, 2 Zen Headbutts. I'm actually going to run a damage calc real quick on that. Let's see here. Medicham. All Out Attacker. Granbull. So Zen Headbutt, let's say after an Intimidate, Zen Headbutt is still doing around 35%. So after Stealth Rocks, he can take 2, but he's going to have to knock me out. Like, he can't predict anything. He can maybe bring a Thunder Wave set, Intimidate Thunder Wave. But if he's just trying to switch in and maybe make a prediction on what I'm going to do, he can't afford that. He has to attack. So I know if he comes in, he takes my Zen Headbutt, he's going to be roughly a little bit above half after Stealth Rocks and the Zen Headbutt. He'll be around 60%, roughly. maybe closer to 50%. But I won't be able to guarantee a 2-hit KO on a defensive Grand Bull. However, my opponent usually, when he brings a Grand Bull, he usually brings like max HP, max attack, so that he can actually get some damage off, and you just intimidate to, you know, boost his own defense. It doesn't really boost defense, but it lowers your opponent's attack, which is the equivalent to boosting your own defense. So, that being said, this thing is just it's pure power. Nothing else to say, it's pure power. Thunder Punch is there for the Raikou. I mean, not the Raikou, but the Manaphy. Ice Punch for the Gliscor. High Jump Kick and Zen Headbutt just takes care of everything else naturally, just being the pure power monster this thing is. You guys know that pure power is it means that your attack stat is doubled. And Mega Medicham's attack stat is 100 already, so doubling that makes it 200. So just take its ability away and think of it as a Pokemon with a stat, you know, a base 200 stat in attack, with moves like High Jump Kick that just naturally nuke things at that base 130. So, insane. If this thing had close combat, man oh man. But yeah, it's going to be it for the team builder, and we'll go ahead and hop into the replay now, and we'll be right back. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Mega Aerodactyl, Hitmonlee, Scolipede, the Celebi, Raikou, and the Kyurem. Not Kyurem Black, just regular Kyurem, so still a threat, but we're not going to get blacked.com, so we're good in that regards. My opponent does not bring Manaphy, no Gliscor, no Chandelier, so he doesn't bring his Ghost type. He has one Fighting Resist in Celebi, so immediately I thought Mega Medicham was going ham this match. No Grand Bull, so no Intimidate users, stuff like that. And we feel pretty adequately prepared. My opponent has 2 Stealth Rock options, but he has also like Toxic Spike options with Scolipede and stuff like that. He has Rapid Spin and Defog support on this team, and he has 2 potential Submons. I really feel like Raikou or Kyurem could be a sub variant, sub Roost on Kyurem with Ice Beam and maybe a what would it be? Anyways, I think Raikou could be a sub Calm Mind variant with Leftovers and Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Ice. Scolipede it could be a Hazard Setter, it could be a Swords Dance variant, it could be a Janitor, it could be a Baton Pass variant. Lots of different things it could be. But yeah, seeing his only 2 rockers being Mega Aerodactyl and Celebi, I felt like, you know, they were potential leads, and they actually match up well against my rocker, Nidoqueen, and it's my only rocker. Knowing that, my opponent could also lead with Kyurem and potentially, you know, try to scare me out with the Ice Beam or something like that. However, we're just going to go ahead and hop into the replay here. I'm going to lead with Tapu Fini versus his Mega Aerodactyl. I felt like he could lead, I felt like Kyurem would be his optimal lead. You know, 100% beats Nidoqueen with, you know, spam your Ice Beam or spam your Ice Attack or whatever it may be. I didn't feel like Mega Aerodactyl was a optimal lead because while he can still get Stealth Rocks up, he is, well, it does outpace my entire team, so I can kind of see why he would want to lead with it, to kind of scout what I wanted to lead with, see what I want to do or something like that. Potentially has Protect for a fake out Mega Medicham and then Revenge Kill or knock me out with the Wing Attack. He could have also predicted a Nidoqueen or a Weavile lead had I been a Weavile lead and he just clicked Stone Edge. Pretty free Stone Edge. However, I am going to lead off with my Tapu Fini here, and he should be forced out. I can click Surf here and force him out pretty comfortably. Knowing that, he's going to hard switch into Celebi. And I'm going to read that. It's pretty obvious. He had 2 switch-ins to a water type attack, being Celebi and Kyurem, both of which don't, well, Kyurem really doesn't appreciate Moonblast, but Celebi, I guess, can handle it a little bit better. But still, getting that damage on there is really nice. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a man's play, and I'm going to stay in. not expecting a Giga Drain, not expecting a Leaf Storm. I have Zapdos out there, I have Nidoqueen, I have Weavile, I have Licky Licky. I don't expect him to click the Grass type move here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stay in and I'm going to click the Magic Coat. And my opponent goes for the Stealth Rocks, and I get my rocks back up on his side of the field, and I was pretty happy about that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hard switch out into Weavile. Like I said in my prep video, or in the prep talk before the battle actually started, I said I could either hard switch out into Zapdos now and Defog, which is just a little bit less optimal for me, since I already got the Magic Coat and got my rocks up on his side, or got his rocks up on his side anyway, and avoided rocks being up on my side. Switching into Zapdos just a defog at this point doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hard switch out into Weavile, expecting my opponent to try to get his rocks up once again. And he does just that. And here, I had a huge call to make. Is he going to be Cobra Berry, or is he going to be Yachi Berry? And I felt Knockoff is way more spammable than Icicle Crash, naturally, outside of this match anyway. So I felt like my opponent was going to be a Cobra Berry variant. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for the Icicle Crash instead of the Knockoff, which my opponent reveals to be the Yachi Berry. So he's actually going to get this right. However, Icicle Crash has a 20% chance to flinch, and I flinched my opponent here, and I was so upset with that flinch. I offered my opponent a restart. He's declined both of my opportunities to restart at matches. Well, we've played in our last 3 battles. 2 of those battles, this one and the one before the middle one, had some hacks involved, and I offered a restart. My opponent declines, so we continue playing here. Restart offer, bottom right screen. He says nah. But anyways, so here I'm not going to risk Icicle Crash again, and I thought about it, because I could, bluff a Scarf here, anything like that. I could bluff Band. Probably not bluffing Band, because Band would have probably knocked out through the Yachi. But I didn't want to risk a miss here, so I'm just going to click the Knockoff and just give away that I'm not, choice locked in any way, shape, or form. He brings in the Hitmonlee, and I'm going to hard switch out into my Tapu Fini. My opponent's going to make a read here, predicting my Fini, and he's going to go for the Poison Jab. And now I can't stay in. It was an iffy play there, but I can't stay in here. And what I'm going to do... Oh. I actually do stay in, because the Nidoqueen switch is so obvious on the Poison Jab that my opponent was more than likely going to click Earthquake there, or Knockoff. I felt like I had a chance to go ahead and make a play here, and I didn't necessarily need Tapu Fini anymore. Even though it was at full health, like he doesn't have the Manaphy, so I don't need to haze anything. I've already got, the Magic Coat balanced on his side and got my rocks up. Surf, I guess, hits Aerodactyl pretty hard, and Moonblast hits this thing pretty hard, and I guess I could use Fini as a check to cure him. But the reason I switched it into Hitmonlee is because I honestly felt the close combat coming, or the knockoff coming. He goes for the Poison Jab, gets a huge play off, and I have to immediately return the aggressive play and stay in with my Tapu Fini after he just revealed the Poison Jab. And I'm just going to stay in. I'm going to click Moonblast. It would drop the Hitmonlee if it stays in, but I feel like he's more than likely going to switch out to something like Raikou or the Kyurem. So I go for the Moonblast, and it's going to drop this Kyurem on the switch in. So down goes the Celebi, down goes the Kyurem, and now we've got a comfortable 6-4 lead. And now I'm going to hard switch out into my Nidoqueen, predicting him to not over predict again. He's got to take the threat as it is and try to get some damage off here. And he's going to get the Poison Jab. It does no damage. I go for the Sludge Wave here as my opponent goes for the Earthquake. And now my opponent's actually going to switch out into the Scolipede as I go for the Earth Power. I'm not sure exactly what he was predicting there. Perhaps he expected me to switch into my Zapdos or back into my Tapu Fini on the Earthquake. And he wanted to get momentum on, by going into his Scolipede. But I am going to stay in and just click the Earth Power here. It does, you know, it brings Scolipede to a position to where it can't sub up. So I felt comfortable staying in, and he reveals Life Orb. And he goes straight for the Earthquake and gets a speed boost. I can revenge kill him, no problem here with the Ice Shard. But it does invite in Hitmonlee once again. But instead, my opponent chooses to go to Mega Aerodactyl here. So, pretty scary. I'm just going to sack off my Tapu Fini here. Can go into that pretty comfortably. Just let this thing die. And now I can bring in Licky Licky. And the plan here is going to be to poison something. Something's getting poisoned here, whether it be Hitmonlee or Raikou or the Aerodactyl. If Hitmonlee hard switches in on a poison, it's going to take rocks damage, it's going to take poison damage, and I can just click protect the following turn, and it should faint. If he clicks taunt here, I will be oblivious to that, and I will poison the Aerodactyl. And if he switches out to the Raikou, it will take rocks and be poisoned as well. And if it's a sub Calm Mind variant, it's a lot less threatening once it's poisoned. So what I'm going to do here is just going to go ahead and click that poison. As my opponent goes for the taunt, hoping that I wasn't the oblivious variant ability anyway. However, I am, and he's going to be forced to you know, make plays here. I'm going to throw off a Wish, and now I can just hard switch out into my Mega Medicham. I can take any one hit outside of a critical hit close combat, which my opponent gets there. Bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Nothing we can really do about that. I can just go into Weavile here. I'm going to click the Ice Shard. I can't risk him being Mach Punch or Bullet Punch or anything like that. And now, after having pretty much his entire team weakened, I'm just going to click Knock Off here, see if this thing's Choice Scarf. He reveals to be Leftovers and knocks me out with the Thunderbolt. So I'm going to bring in my Licky Licky here, as he's revealed to be, you know, what's the word? He hasn't really revealed anything on his Raikou, but he was in a position to where I wasn't fearful. He was at such low health that Dragon Tail would, you know, break subs. Well, not necessarily break subs, but he wouldn't have enough subs to, you know, put fear into my Licky Licky. And I can just click Wish Protect here, Wish Protect here, Wish Protect here, get my health back. Mega Aerodactyl is going to drop to the poison, and then the Raikou comes in, and it's going to drop from Stealth Rocks. So Nidoqueen's actually going to pick up that kill on the Raikou, and that's going to be that. So we're going to come away with a 2-0 victory against Andy here. Let's see here. Our last match was in the PBF Season 6 semifinals. So yeah, likely this team is 5-2. We are 5-2 now. We're both 5-2. Andy has a lot higher differential. He had a pretty good start to the season with a 5-0 and a 4-0 victory in weeks 1 and 2. He also had a 4-0 victory in week 5. So lots of dominant performances here. And even though we grabbed this win here and we're both sitting at 5-2, Andy's actually got the one up on us because he has higher differential. And in this league, the Pokemon Battle Federation, seasons 1 through 7, I think all leagues or all of our seasons have been decided like this. First off is your record, second off is your differential, and then third off would be your head-to-head. And depending on what season it was, there may be a fourth tiebreaker. If, you know, say a couple seasons ago we had divisions and we were like playing our division rivals twice a season. So had Andy and I played twice this season, we both finished 10-2, and we played twice. We both beat each other just once apiece. Had the same record, had the same differential, and had beat each other twice. We would have a fourth tiebreaker called the opponent's combined record, to where I would look at all of my competition, Andy would look at all of his competition, and whoever had, you know, faced the teams with the most wins, you know, if my opponents had more wins than Andy's opponents, then I would be ranked higher, and vice versa. But yeah, we're going to come away with a narrow 2-0 victory here in a very quick-paced game, very offensive, back and forth, and come away with a 2-0 victory. So good game to Andy and the St. Louis Carbinks. Good luck the rest of the season. We're going to move on to 5-2. We're on a 5-game win streak ourselves now after starting out the season 0-2. We are now 5-2 with a +9 differential. Pretty happy about that, but still got 4 games to go. So definitely not trying to lose momentum or lose stride or anything like that. Trying to stay on top of the game, keep moving forward, and maybe put ourselves in position to make a playoff appearance and hopefully go for another title. We came up short last season in the finals. but it is what it is. We're going to try our best to win it this season. I'll tell you that. So yeah, good game again, Andy. Good luck to the rest of the season. Good luck to everybody else, in the season watching this. Looking forward to the rest of the games. Who will we got next? I think we've got the Portland Polywags next, coached by Bronson. Then we're going to be facing off against the St. Kilda Superiors, coached by Bacon Chest, who I don't want to play him really. Go back and look at our ICBA D-League match. I don't want to play him again. We got Wisconsin Week 10, one of our kryptonites in Hilmy. So looking forward to that Week 10 match, see if we can beat him. We managed to beat him last season, but he's managed to defeat us in every other encounter. So definitely going to be looking out for that one. And then last but not least, we have our rematch versus Corey, who we lost to in season 6, week 1 last season, and never got to play him again. He actually ended up getting beat out of playoffs. So we didn't get to face him again. We never got a revenge. So week 11, hoping to get a revenge against Corey. But yeah, that's going to be it. Let me know what you think about the battle and the prep on both sides of the field here. I think Licky being oblivious to that taunt really set this game apart. I think the flinch on Selby, I don't know his coverage. I don't know what moves he had, if he had U-turn or leaf storm or what he was going for there. I have no idea. But it was very unfortunate that he got flinched. I should have maybe just clicked Swords Dance the next play, or maybe risk an icicle crash miss or something and hope that it missed or something. I should have did something to prevent that from being an issue in this game. And then my opponent did get a crit on the Mega Metacham late. So, like, I eat that. I'm pretty sure I eat that up. Let me go ahead and cap that real quick. Metacham, all-out attacker, Hitmonlee. So, let's say you are Life Orb, Jolly, yeah, close combat, had no chance of knocking out my Mega Metacham. So, the crit definitely mattered. I would have taken, if it wasn't a crit, I would have taken roughly between 60 and 80% from the close combat. I would have received my wish and been back at around 70-75% HP, and then something dies to Zen Headbutt or High Jump Kick or whatever I wanted to click. So a little bit unfortunate, but I did have the flinch early in the match, so I wasn't about to complain. I still felt, even without Mega Metacham, I was really only wanting to just get kills with it. I felt the match was still in my favor with or without Mega Metacham. However, that flinch was costly on my opponent's part. So that's unfortunate. Let me know what you think was the play of the game, though. Was it the Icicle Crash flinch? Was it the being oblivious to taunt? Was it the Moonblast play where the Hitmonlee switched out and Kieran was sacked? What was the play of the game? Who was the MVP of the match? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and we'll, I guess we'll be back next week with some more PBF content. Keep your eyes peeled for IDM, CPC, and PBF content. We're gonna have some other random videos coming out soon, some like top 5 videos. We're gonna be talking about, I'm about spoiled it. I'm gonna keep that one a secret. We're gonna have some top 5 videos though, for sure. Definitely gonna have some top 5 videos. Gonna have some, I'm gonna be trying to bring some more content to the channel. It's gonna be Pokemon related, no doubt. Just gonna try to bring some more Dragon Ball content out. I'm gonna be trying to bring some maybe Star Wars stuff, maybe some other anime and comics and stuff like that. But mostly Pokemon still, and definitely going to be full of Draft League content. The World Showdown Series Season 5 is, the draft just started. We're in a slow drafting process until I think the 9th of June, where we will have like a really quick stream and a fast draft in like a 2-hour period or something like that. And yeah, that's going to be it. So let me know what you think. And yeah, if you're new, definitely subscribe to the channel. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Let me know what you think. Is my content okay? Do you guys want me to do something differently? Do you guys need more content? Is there something I do that you prefer me to do differently? Whatever. I have fun. I'm not necessarily trying to get to 1 million subscribers or anything like that. Or the reason I do YouTube is because I want to bring my battles to you guys. I want to share my battles. I have a lot of fun in Draft League. For the past couple years, I've been having so much fun in the Draft League community. And that's the only reason I started YouTube, is because I wanted to share my battles. I've had so many fun battles, so many awesome finals wins, finals losses, and so many close battles with some of the greats like Aki VGC. I've had two battles versus Gypsy King, but one of them was terrible. But the first one was amazing, where we was both playing lights out, and all kinds of awesome games versus Aki VGC, all kinds of awesome games versus Sebi VGC. Skyrise, you know, some of my friends have been very competent players and stuff like that, but they haven't necessarily gotten some of the recognition they deserve, like Sebi, Pledge, Andy even. Andy's channel is phenomenal. Go check out Andy's channel, LG YouTube. So fun to watch his content. He's got a series now where he's making mega evolutions and trying to make them viable. Started out with Mega Knocktail, so look out for that. He's also got Showdown subscriber series where he will play you on Showdown, record the battle, and then upload it so that, you know, you guys can go check that out and stuff like that. He also does some, you know, other cool quizzes, and he's got all kinds of cool content, and he's a great person. So definitely go check Andy out. And yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'm done rambling now, I promise. And I'll see you guys next time. So thank you for watching.